everyone, welcome back to Pen to Pyramid Radio Station. You know we love to explore thought-provoking concepts here, and today's topic is a real doozy, especially if you're, interested in business or just like thinking about how to succeed in, well, anything really.
Yeah, it's one of those things that can really trip you up if you're not careful.
Absolutely. I'm Orion,
And I am Iris.
and we are ready to dive deep into this fascinating paradox, something called the exploration versus exploitation dilemma.
It's a bit of a mouthful, but trust me, it's worth unpacking.
First things first, though, right? We got to make sure we're all on the same page. A paradox, just a quick reminder, is when two things seem to contradict each other, but they can actually both be true at the same time.
Yeah, it's like trying to figure out which came first, the chicken or the egg. Or, the more you learn about something, the more you realize how much you don't know.
It's kind of mind-bending when you really think about it.
Right. And that's exactly what makes this exploration versus exploitation thing so interesting.
Okay, so let's break it down. What exactly are we talking about when we say exploration in a business context?
So exploration is all about searching for those new opportunities, pushing boundaries, innovating, taking risks, even if it means, stepping outside your comfort zone and venturing into uncharted territory.
So like if a company is doing a ton of research and development, that would be considered exploration.
Exactly. Or, brainstorming new product lines, experimenting with different marketing approaches, anything that involves trying new things and seeing what sticks.
Okay, so that's exploration. What about exploitation?
Well, exploitation might sound a bit harsh, I guess, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's really about making the most of what you've already got. Honing your skills, becoming more efficient, perfecting your existing products or services.
So think like streamlining your production process, optimizing your website for better conversions, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's about getting really good at what you already do.
I think a good way to visualize this is to imagine like mining for gold. Exploration is like searching for that new gold mine, full of potential riches, but also like you don't know what you're going to find.
Right. There are a lot of unknowns. And then exploitation is like, you found your gold mine and you're carefully extracting every last ounce of gold from it.
Refining it, making sure you get the most value out of it.
Precisely.
And I think we can see how this plays out in the real world with some of the biggest companies out there. Take Apple, for instance. They're known for their, sleek, user-friendly products like the iPhone and MacBook. And they keep refining them year after year. That's a classic example of exploitation, right?
Oh, absolutely. They've mastered the art of refining and perfecting their existing products. But what's really interesting about Apple is how they balance that exploitation with strategic exploration.
Yeah, they haven't been afraid to branch out into new areas.
Exactly. I mean, they didn't just stick with computers, right? They revolutionized music with the iPod, then completely changed the game with the iPhone.
And now they're pushing into wearables with the Apple Watch and augmented reality with their Vision Pro headset.
It's like they're playing a long game, using their successes in one area to fund these big, sometimes risky explorations into new territory.
And that's what makes them so successful, right? This ability to balance both. Because not every company gets it right. Think about Blockbuster. They were like the kings of the video rental world, dominated the market for years.
Oh, yeah, I remember those days. Going to Blockbuster on a Friday night was like a ritual. They had stores everywhere. Their logistics were amazing.
Total masters of exploitation. But, they got so comfortable with their business model that they totally missed the boat on this whole streaming thing.
Right. They thought their physical stores were untouchable.
And Netflix, who was busy exploring this new digital frontier, well, they swooped in and changed everything.
Blockbuster is a cautionary tale, really. A reminder that even the most successful companies can't afford to just rest on their laurels.
Right. The market's constantly changing, and what worked yesterday might not work tomorrow. You got to adapt, you got to evolve. It's like that saying, what got you here won't get you there.
Exactly.
But then you have a company like Google, who seem to be constantly exploring with all these moonshot projects, self-driving cars, extending human lifespan, AI.
Right. They're all about pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
But is it possible they're exploring too much? I mean, are they spreading themselves too thin,
Yeah.
Could that be hurting their core business, like advertising?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's a debate that's happening right now, among experts.
Yeah.
Some argue that Google's diverse explorations are actually hindering them from fully exploiting their existing strength.
So it really is a delicate balancing act, huh? So I
Absolutely.
guess the big question for our listeners is, how does this all apply to them, right? I mean, most people aren't running multi-billion-dollar
Well,
companies.
here's the thing. This paradox isn't just for corporations, it
Yeah.
applies to all of us, no matter what we do.
It's about thinking about your own career, your personal projects, even your hobbies.
Yeah, like, are you spending too much time refining your existing skills, or are you neglecting to explore new avenues for
Are
growth?
you so focused on perfecting that sourdough recipe that you haven't even tried that new Ethiopian restaurant down the street?
That's a great analogy. It's about finding that sweet spot between, deepening your expertise and embracing new possibilities. And that balance, it's different for everyone.
You really got to figure out what works best for you. This has been a fascinating discussion. We've gone from Apple's calculated risks to Blockbuster's missed opportunities to Google's ambitious explorations. But the big takeaway, I think, is that this exploration versus exploitation dilemma is something we all face, whether we realize it or not.
And how we navigate that balance can have a huge impact on our success, both personally and professionally.
So what do you think? Where do you fall on the spectrum? Are you an explorer or an exploiter?
We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Share your experiences with us in the comments below.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive and want to hear more, be sure to subscribe to Pit a Pyramid Radio Station. We'll be back with more thought-provoking topics soon. Until next time.